Hey guys, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while about a Rob's Reads segment, so I thought I would come to you with a two for one today because I definitely have been reading. It's been a long, hot summer. I've been doing some travel as well, which is always a good time to catch up on my reading. But today I'm going to give you a two for one because I haven't done this in a while. Two very different books, but I think at least one of them will appeal to you, possibly both. The first one I'm going to start with is this one right here. Motorbiking Mountain and Steppe Forever Eastward. Um, it's a clunky title, man, but and it's by Malcolm Dunkeld. It's a clunky title, but the book is fantastic. I loved it. Malcolm basically retired, if I recall correctly, as a professor in school in the UK, and was feeling a little bit unfulfilled, a little lost, as we all get sometimes, a little unmoored, and thought that and was dealing with some stuff from his past, as we always, as you know, that follows us, our entire lives. So he bravely took off on a motorbike journey that, as you know, I've followed a few of those before. I've read a few of those books, beginning with Motorcycle Diaries by Che Guevara many, many years ago. And Ewan McGregor had a great show out as well, where they did Round the World. They did three of them on motorbikes. And I just loved it. Even though I don't own a bike or I don't really like biking myself, I love reading about somebody. And the thing about Malcolm is that he's a great writer. He's very introspective. He's very observant. And I mean, that's key, right? That's what you're looking for in a travel book, somebody that can paint the pictures for you. I enjoyed it so much that there were times I couldn't put it down. So kudos to you, Malcolm. I mean, I'm not crazy about the title because it's hard for me to remember how to recommend it to people, but forget about that, man. Just find the book. It's by Whittle Publishing. I've talked about their books before. They do a lot of good travel books. And the book itself, I mean, I took it with me while I was traveling to El Salvador, and there were many nights where I'm like, I need to go to sleep. I'm tired, but I couldn't put it down. Just a fantastic adventure. I'm not going to spoil the ending for you, but it has a climax at the end, and it's all real life. And I really, really enjoy that. I'm not a huge fiction reader. It has to be really good fiction by a particular writer, and to suspend belief. But with this, I was right there in Malcolm's helmet. I knew what was going on. It felt like the entire time. Second book I'm going to recommend, completely different. You can see I basically have marked up a lot of pages here to go back and refer back to, but it's called Disordered Minds. It's by Ian Hughes. I think he's an Irish writer, I believe, if I remember correctly. He lives in Ireland. But Disordered Minds was just mind-boggling. And the reason I marked up so many pages is because every time I'm going through it, I'm like, oh my God, it's just so much to digest. And so unlike Malcolm's book, which was like just page turner, this is like after a couple pages, I'm like, I need to digest that. It's not that it's a hard read. It's just that Ian gives you so much to think about. So what is it about? Well, it's about the approximately 1% of our population that is psychopathic or narcissistic, and how those people tend to be overrepresented in positions of power, especially when the social fabric starts to fail, such as in the Great Depression, which is what, of course, brought Hitler to power. So he studies people like Hitler, China's Mao, the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia, and he studies these people from the past and how these movements got going and what gave them strength, because these people are around us all the time. You see them every day. If you meet 100 people, you're going to meet at least one or two, or possibly more, pathological narcissists. And these are not people like our normal that have normal psychology, and that's what makes them so dangerous. And he brings it up to modern day Trumpism, the MAGA movement. When you read this, it helps you understand where we are today, why we are today. And the whole idea behind democracy is to prevent people that are disordered from doing so much damage like they have done in the past. But what if democracy starts to crumble? And that's part of Ian's book. It's like, it's part hopeful, but it's also part warning. And like, we've seen this movie before. And unfortunately, it gets worse every time because obviously we're living in a nuclear age now. So this is really dangerous times. We have climate change to contend with. As we know, politics in the United States and all over the world are just fraught right now. Geopolitics as well as internal domestic politics. It's a scary time. This will help you make sense of it. It really will. And I think that's the first step to solving a problem is understanding what is the problem. And that's where Ian really excels. So these are two books that I highly recommend. Again, Disordered Minds by Ian Hughes, and then Motorbiking Mountain and Steppe Forever Eastward by Malcolm Dunkeld, if you want a really good travel book. Those are two books I recommend. Go get them. That's Reading with Rob for right now. I've been reading a lot more books. I'll report back to you later, but I hope you enjoy those. Thanks.